Hello! Ansible, like many other powerful tools, comes with its own documentation. For those of us in Ansible community, this means that we must learn how to efficiently navigate through this resource to fully grasp its capabilities and limitations. In today's video, we'll delve into the world of Ansible documentation, helping you become a more proficient Ansible user by guiding you through the ins and outs of this indispensable tool. So, let's get started and unlock the true potential of Ansible. Let's start by searching the Ansible documentation on Google search engine. Ansible documentation, press enter, click on the first link, Ansible documentation. So what we can see, we have 4 different groups of links here. Getting started with Ansible, users, developers, and maintainers. Let's start by clicking the first link, because let's imagine that I'm a complete beginner. What should I do? How to start with Ansible? So getting started with Ansible would be the best choice. Here I have different links on how to start, what even is Ansible, what's the architecture of Ansible, basically all that I need to know as a complete beginner, or how to start and what to look at, or even what to expect from Ansible. That's all great and good for a beginner. But for me, let's say that I'm more of an amateur, that I encountered Ansible before. Let's start by finding what Ansible offers on the module documentation. So here I can find the introduction to modules and all the necessary information on what a module is. But let's say that I need to know about what collections and modules are available in Ansible. So to find that, I can go to the collection index, where I can search, for example, Juniper Networks collection. Click on it, and I can see all of the modules. Let's go choose one. It doesn't matter. I see all of the necessary documentation on how to use it, what parameters are included, and what requirements does this collection need to be used in my Ansible playbooks. But here on the top left corner, I can see that Ansible offers 3 different versions of that module. So Ansible 2.9 version, the latest, and the development version. So if I click on the 2.9, basically this is the documentation before the collections were introduced. I can see the Junos VLAN module as well, all of the examples, the parameters, same as before, just a different format and less colors. Let's say that I'm really interested about the Ansible Windows copy module. So I go to Ansible Windows. So Ansible, it's a little bit above Ansible Windows. Exactly, I found my Windows copy module, like before with Juniper. So all of the documentation is here, but I'm really interested about the Ansible version 2.13, not the 2.9 or the latest or the development, the 2.13. So to find that kind of documentation for all of the modules and collections, I can visit the steampunk.si webpage. Here we have a Steampunk Spotter product and some other stuff that we can discuss later on. But let's start with the documentation. So we go to resources and documentation. Here we have 2 major links, Steampunk Spotter and complete Ansible collection documentation. Click on that. The same index, or like before, we have an index where we can search specific Ansible related collections that we can use. So Ansible, because the Windows is in Ansible domain, so Ansible, Ansible Windows, and here it is. We can have an option to choose a specific collection version, or we can just go to a specific module. If I click on it, I have a latest version of that module available with all of the examples, documentation, with some green check marks that we will discuss later on as well. So let's see, the Windows copy for 1.8.0 version. Here, I choose the version. I have the documentation right here with all of the examples checked by Steampunk Spotter. That's why the check mark. So quite great, quite awesome. I have very specific documentation for a very specific module, just one click away. So Juniper Networks, same as before. I choose the Juniper Networks, Juniper Network collection, and I have all the modules. Here we have Junos VLAN and Junos VLANs. So basically we have different versions here. So different latest versions. Why is this? So Juniper Networks Junos VLAN has some red dots here or red check marks. That is because the Junos VLAN was deprecated from the version 3.1.0 on, and Spotter warns you about that. But I can choose a different version here, for example, Junos VLANs. So same as Windows copy module, I choose a version and everything is a-okay. What I would like to show you as well is the Steampunk Spotter Ansible playbook platform that Steampunk team offers. It's really good for the upgrading or migrating your Ansible content from one version of Ansible to another version. We have also a bunch of checks. So best practice checks, validation checks, upgrade checks. Then we have custom checks that you can create your own checks for very specific industry requirements that you need to have, or compliance requirements. And we also offer security checks for checking all of the Python code inside the modules if it's safe to use in your production, in your environment. So really nice product with really nice documentation as well, as you saw. So give it a try. And now we can move on the third option, where you can find your documentation, Ansible documentation offline. So I have moved back to my terminal. So here I will just show you what Ansible version I have currently installed. So Ansible -- version, and let's see, I have Ansible core 2.15. To find the offline documentation, you can use the Ansible -docs, and -l will, as a list, will show me all of the modules available for me to see offline. Let's find the specific one. For example, I can use the Ansible -docs -list, Ansible.windows, and I see all of the modules in here. Let's find which is Windows copy. So the same command as before, Ansible.windows.win copy. So if I use that, I will see the specific documentation for a specific Ansible version that I have installed. For example, I have 2.15, I get the 2.15. So whenever you're in a pickle, you don't have access to the web, you can always use the Ansible docs as well.
And there you have it, folks. A straightforward overview of what Ansible documentation brings to the table and what else lies within the vast landscape of IT resources. If you have any comments or tips you would like to share with the community, we're all ears. Your insights can help us and others navigate this ever-evolving field more efficiently. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more valuable content.